Damn! I got you, you biatch. Take it off! Take it off!
Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My family and I bought a house in Japan and we're going to begin renovations on it, starting with the bathroom. Houses in Japan are selling for relatively cheap these days, so if you ever thought about owning a home and ever thought about living abroad, now's a good time to get in on Japanese real estate. The house is more than 30 years old, so there is a lot of work to do. I'll start off by removing the door and any old fixtures in the bathroom.
Okay.
We're going to be replacing the old toilet, so I'm going to go ahead and remove this from the supply line. I got this wrench at the dollar store. Never used it before. It's kind of weird, but it did the job. The water in this toilet had been stagnant for about a year and a half, so it's pretty gross. I recommend when you do this, lay a towel down. It is gonna get messy. I'm gonna go ahead and extract any leftover water from the tank with this pump that I bought at the dollar store.
As good as it's gonna get.
Next, I'm gonna remove the old overflow pipe. Everything is rusted over, so it was difficult to remove. And then I realized
I was twisting this thing the wrong way the whole time. Shit.
Yeah, so I changed that. Okay, pipe is removed. I'm gonna go ahead and release the tank from the bowl. There is a screw inside of the tank that needs to be held down in place while you twist the nut underneath the tank. It was kind of a pain. These Japanese bathrooms are a lot tinier than the ones in the US, so there wasn't a lot of room to work with. Hey, I got it.
Got it.
Then we'll go ahead and do the other side. Got it.
I got you, you biatch.
Now we're gonna go ahead and cut the wire attached to the lever that opens the hatch to the waistline. I tried using a box cutter for this, it didn't work. I grabbed my jigsaw and this definitely did not work.
Jacket on my blade.
Just have a good set of pliers and you can go ahead and twist this back and forth. It should do the job.
Take it off!
Right now I'm gonna go ahead and remove the tank. I'm gonna put this outside and we'll dispose of it later. Now remove the screws that anchor the bowl to the floor, and we're gonna go ahead and remove the bowl. The plumbing was really old on this, so when I moved the bowl, I saw some pretty nasty stuff.
Damn!
This isn't for the faint of heart.
Take a look at that shit. Oh boy.
Just dead maggots.
Woo!
Yep, millions of them. I'm just gonna clean this up. I like to work with a clean work surface, so you'll see me cleaning often during this renovation.
Good news. Toilet is off. Okay.
I'm just gonna go ahead and tape off the waistline just so the sewage gas doesn't fill the room up with stink. I'm gonna go ahead and pry off the baseboards. We're gonna be replacing these. I just grab my scraper and pry bar and just remove them. Overflow pipe just comes right out. I'm gonna saw that little piece sticking out from the ground from the overflow just to make it flush with the floor. I'll remove the old gasket from the waistline. We're gonna replace this as well. I'm gonna remove the old cushion floor. This floor was glued on well, so a lot of the cushion stayed on the subfloor. So I'll have to do my best to make this surface flat before I lay my new cushion floor down. I'm gonna go ahead and save this old cushion floor and use it as a template for the new one. I'm gonna try to remove as much of the old cushion floor as I can with a scraper. You don't have to get it all, get as much as you can. You are gonna sand this down after this step. That's what I did anyway. I mean, if anybody has another strategy, please let me know. I'm gonna go ahead and sand the rest of the floor with 60 grit sandpaper to get it really smooth. When you're laying down a new cushion floor, the surface has to be smooth. You'll feel every bump otherwise. When you do this, make sure you wear goggles and a mask. It is gonna get dusty, you can see. Making sure I vacuum the walls as well. I am going to be laying down plaster on this after we finish with the floor. So I'm going to go ahead and make sure the surface is nice and clean. I'm gonna be removing the window, but the screws are stripped, so I went ahead and bought this. My Japanese is horrible, so I'm gonna try to pronounce this as best as I can. But this is a stripped screw removal bit, but it's literally translated to licked screw removal bit. I don't know why it's licked. This is a nameta neji hazushibito. Basically, you're gonna use one end to screw into the strip screw, then you're gonna turn it around and use the extractor bit to remove the screw. Then I went ahead and removed all the screws. It's easy to use, it's a lifesaver and game changing. to make sure I clean all of this up because I'm going to go ahead and spray paint it. To clean the window, I'm going to use this. This is Magic Clean Agua Jetto. Agua meaning bubble. I like this product, super easy to use, no real strong fumes, so I recommend it if you're going to be cleaning anything. Clean the screen, I'm gonna use this kitchen Haita. Haita, I'm assuming, is a sanitizing solution that uses bleach. Vacuum, vacuum. I'm gonna go ahead and use the Magic Clean for the window as well. I'm gonna revarnish the countertop in the bathroom. I went ahead and sanded it with a 60 grit sandpaper to get rid of all the old varnish. Now I'm taping everything off with some painter's tape. I'm gonna go ahead and prep these to get ready for spray painting. I'm just gonna give them a light sand with a sanding block, and then I'll tape everything off. I'm going to be using this Asahi Pen metal primer as my base. Make sure you spray and then sweep across, otherwise you'll end up with heavy spots on what you're working on. At least that's what I've been told. I go ahead and do it all the time. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing for the window frame. The spray we're gonna be using is Pro Act Dakka, which is a lacquer spray. Pro Act is a Conan Pro store brand spray paint. Make sure you spray then sweep, spray then sweep. When everything's dry, you can go ahead and remove everything. Now for a varnish, I'm going to go ahead and use the Pro Act brand. This is a water-based wood protection paint. I've I've seen people in videos just give this a good shake. I was always told you're not supposed to shake because it's gonna add air to it, but if it's on YouTube, it's gotta be good. I just use a rag to apply this. After it's dry, I'm gonna go ahead and apply a top coat. This top coat I got from Daiso. Daiso is the dollar store, the Hyakuyen shop, which is less than $1 actually. I just bought 1 bottle of this. Super cheap, really effective. I've seen this done before in videos where they water down the top coat and they apply about 10 coats to it. So I went ahead and did the same thing. Just apply this with the grain and then go slightly up, then sweep across, go slightly up and sweep across, go slightly up and sweep across, and just keep repeating that. I did about 10 coats of this or whatever was in the bottle. When everything is dry, go ahead and remove your tape. I'm gonna go ahead and clean the walls and then get ready to prime the walls for plaster. This time I'm gonna tape off the countertop and the window frame. I went ahead and gave this window frame a nice light sanding to get ready for priming. The prime, we're going to be using this Akudomeru, which is a primer you can use whether you're using plaster or paint. I think that's accurate. If it's not, let me know that I did something wrong. So I'm going to apply this to the window frame, the door frame, to the walls and ceiling. For the paint, I'm using Pro Act store brand paint again. I can't recommend this paint. It doesn't do a very good job of coating on the first coat. I ended up applying 3 coats on the window and about 4 coats on the door frame. It doesn't brush on good, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the next couple coats with a roller. And that ended up giving me the finish that I wanted. See the streaks here. I didn't really care for it, so I went ahead and applied the next few coats with the roller instead. I'm gonna apply the plaster now. This is Nippon Plaster Shikui. It's pretty expensive, so use with care. If you're gonna be doing plaster, 2 things you're absolutely gonna need is your hawk and trowel. Your hawk is gonna hold your shikui or your plaster, and your trowel is gonna be the one to apply everything. Grab a little bit with your trowel, put it on your hawk, and go ahead and massage it a little, just to make it easier for applying. laughing my ass off here because I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never used this before, so as you can see, I'm just kind of waving this thing around like I'm Harry Potter. After a while, you do get into a rhythm and it gets easier and you can move faster. Look how fast I'm going. This does get messy, so be careful when you are using it. You're gonna find that when you do this, after a while, you're not gonna load your trowel up with too much shikui, otherwise it'll just fall right off. You can see on the floor that I lost a lot of the shikui, so be careful when you're doing this. It is expensive, but the look is definitely worth it, I think. Now for me, this isn't gonna finish extra smooth. I did want to go with a more rustic look, but if you do want to get smooth, take your time with it, do it slowly. Whenever you're not using it, make sure you cover the bucket, otherwise it will dry out. I ended up not having enough product from this one bucket, so I needed to order another. And ta-da! It's all finished. When you're dealing with this plaster, you are more than likely going to run into this issue. I don't know if you can see it, but there are brown and yellow spots all over the shikui. What the plaster is meant to do is absorb stains and smells and moisture, and it definitely did that here. I've read that a lot of people run into this issue, so what you can do, what I decided to do, was to put another layer of aquadomel over it and then paint over it. Either way, you're going to have to put a layer of aquadomel over everything. I thought this was more cost efficient and it still gave me the look that I wanted, so I went ahead and did this. Here's the final result. I do like the way that it looked. It's a lot shinier than I wanted it to be, but it brightens up the room, so I'm not mad about it. That about does it for this video. In the next video, I'm gonna go ahead and continue the renovations. We're gonna refurbish the door, install a new electrical consent, and we're gonna be installing our new cushion floor. Thanks again. See you next time. Aloha.